Okay. Okay, let me help Brandon out here. Hey everyone, how you guys doing? How's my day? My day's good, Jacob. How are you, dude? Well, we don't really use the cruise anymore, though, Savage Gaming. I'm gonna have some good cosplay for for Rebirth Island. So when I do Rebirth Island mission, we're almost near the end of the game. We're gonna have 3 parts left for Black Ops, so it's still, you know, near the end of the game. Once I finish Black Ops, it'll be a lot easier for me to put out Ace Attorney Parts 2. And then once that's done, we'll probably do Men of Valor, and after that, Days Gone. We're gonna do Days Gone Remastered. I'm really excited to play that one. Good to see you, Slick. Huh? Hey, Isaiah. Thank you for the super chat, dude. Yeah, we're gonna do it in May or June, Hustler, but I'll announce it when I'm gonna be doing it. Yeah. GTA Advance, yeah, I'll do a playthrough of it. I just don't know when. Is the Days Gone remaster free if you already have Days Gone? I think that you will, I think it's like a $10 upgrade, correct me if I'm wrong, isn't it? Microsoft turned 50 2 days ago. Really? Did it? Huh. 1975 when it was formed then? My day is good, FTV. How is yours? Damn, I'm crashing so much. I'm having such bad luck. Like and subscribe. Thank you, Menace. Thanks, dude. Wait, people made fun of your voice? Yeah, people have done that in the past. People have made fun of my voice, but, you know, it is what it is. Nothing really much you can do about that. Damn. Kids, rooms if you find dead bodies, cheap women, or Trevor Phillips were Checking into the Rockford Hills Hotel. Oh, I know that line, Nicholas. I know GTA really well. That's the line Amanda says. Like, right when Michael gets his family back after that therapy session, when Amanda walks into the house, she says that line. Yep. I knew that line, Nicholas. Would I do an 18-year anniversary of playthrough Saints Row 1? Nah. I will do the playthrough of Saints Row 1 next year. So next year it's gonna be 2026, and it'll be 20 years. It'll be perfect to do a playthrough of Saints Row 1. It's 20-year anniversary. I did one before, so I don't want to do one too recently. How much money is that? It's $1,310,000,000. Can I do another GTA 4 stream? Yeah, we'll do it. The GTA 4 anniversary is coming up, so we can do it too. I actually don't know that, Mason. 17 months. Wow. Have you ever heard of the YouTuber sabbatical? In one of his videos, he got arrested in Russia. Also, I love the Ace Attorney videos. I think I actually do know that YouTuber Golden. Isn't that travel channel that he was filming some remote, Siberian village, and then he got arrested by a bunch of, FSB agents who were, accusing him of being, a Western spy? Is that the guy? And then he said in the video that when he got interrogated, they made him do a drug test, and they said he tested for meth. Is that the one, but he never did meth? Is that the YouTuber we're talking about? That whole incident when he got arrested in Russia. I think that's the YouTuber we're talking about, right? No, I haven't, some Mark. Yes, Hustler, in May or June. Didn't Red Dead Redemption 2 came out in October, if I remember correctly. It was October, right? Yeah, it was, Hey, Christine. Do I know the Church of Scientology? Yes. The Epsilon, cult is a parody off of them. I knew who the Church of Scientology were way before GTA, way before GTA Online. What I'll say about Scientology is normally I respect all religions and I don't like discussing it, but I consider Scientology to be a scam. If you look at how that religion acts, the books that they pressure people to buy these books in these really big packages, and they make their members spend tons of money. And if you don't spend tons of money, they kind of yeah, that's all I'll say about it. Hey, Suscat. Well, most people know about Scientology not from GTA Online. They know about it from South Park. There was an entire South Park episode about it before GTA 5 did it, and yeah. I don't know about that Golden Stripe. Let's see if I can get there before 26 minutes and 30 seconds. I think I can. Oh, hey, Gamer Fox. Thank you for sponsoring my channel. Thank you, dude. I really appreciate it. Little shortcut you can take if you're driving with the truck. You can cut across the highway on this side to avoid the oncoming traffic. And you can just go through here. It'll save you a big turn. And I did it. I got the truck there in before 26 minutes and 30 seconds. Did pretty good. Okay. Thank you, Mr. Jesus. Do I agree that Poland got bullied the most by scummy and empires and evil empires in history? I'm glad their culture and faith are still alive. Well, a lot of countries have gotten bullied in history. I would say in Europe, Poland is probably the country that's gotten bullied the most, or at least in the top 3. The country that's gotten probably bullied the most in its history, I would say probably India. India has been invaded so many times by so many empires. There are so many empires invaded India. The British invaded India, the Mongolians made raids into India, the Portuguese invaded India, the French invaded India, the Chinese invaded India. Thank you for the super chat, Mr. Jesus. But yeah, Polish culture and the Polish language almost, got destroyed by, its colonizers. When the Russians occupied eastern Poland, they tried to abolish the Polish language, and they tried to make people speak only Russian, and they tried to Russify, eastern Poland. I know there's GTA San Andreas Online, but I haven't really ever played it. I played it maybe once a very, very long time ago at a friend's house when we were kids. Would you do a playthrough of a Far Cry game? Thank you, Savage Gaming. If I'm gonna do a playthrough of a Far Cry game, it's gonna be Far Cry 2. That was my favorite, Far Cry game. I always liked the setting and the story in that one. Thank you, Savage Gaming. The Black Ops 1 campaign videos are fire. Thank you, dude. I'm glad you appreciate them. Here we go. One moment, guys. I'll read the chat in a second here. How's the Marcel lore video coming along? It's gonna come out this week. This week, I promise it'll come out. This week coming up, Matt. Was there anyone you ever turned down when they wanted to rent one of your properties? Yes. It only happened once, where I turned somebody down, and, what basically happened is I had this family come in, take a look at the house. This happened roughly close to a year ago, actually. It was when I got the second rental property. But basically, this family comes in, mom and her daughter and her daughter's boyfriend. And the mom looked like she was, the mom literally looked like she was in her 60s, but she was actually in her 40s. And I guess one of the reasons that she looked so old was because she was just a big smoker. Like, she had like that cigarette, smoking voice, the raspy voice. What happened was the girlfriend. There didn't seem to be anything off about the girlfriend to me, but her boyfriend, like, his eyes were just all over the place. I don't know if he was on drugs or what. I just had like a weird feeling about him, like the way that he was just looking around. Like, I felt like he might have been on something. But oh, can I actually use this tunnel right here now? You can't enter while selling goods from another business. Okay. Now what happened is, the thing is, I was gonna still give them a chance at the house, but what happened is, I offered to pay for their background checks, so I paid for all of their background checks, and I did a background check on the daughter's boyfriend, and he was like a mechanic, and his current address was actually at a motel, and he had like really, really bad credit. The mom, I did her background check. There was no criminal record. But about her background check is, she was a cashier at a Subway, and on top of that, she also had like a bunch of kids, a lot of kids and a lot of dogs, and she was divorced. And the girlfriend, both her and her sister refused to do background checks, so they would not do background checks. And I was still willing to give them a chance, but it was like when they were just not do the background check, like every single time I asked them to do the background check, like they wouldn't. Like, I would pay for it, I offered to pay for it, but they kept giving me excuses. Oh, it's late, I'm tired from work, like, I'm not going to do the background check today, I'll do it later this week, and then later never came. And then at the same time as they kept texting me, hey, did you approve the application, when they would refuse to do the background check. And at that point, I said, you know what, screw this. And what I did was, I basically just texted them, I said, I found somebody else to rent the house, and they never texted me again. And that was it. So I think I pretty much dodged a bullet with that one, but yeah, that was I think that was there's a reason probably why both of them didn't want to do the background check. Here's what I will say to you guys. There are websites like Zillow that can do free background checks for you, so take advantage of that. But if you don't have an option to do a free background check, if you're looking for like tenants to rent your properties, right? If you're looking for tenants to rent your properties, if you cannot get a free background check, if you have to pay for the background check, don't make them pay for the background check. You pay for the background check. The reason you want to pay for the background check, even if you're gonna reject them, is because they're not gonna get pissed if you reject them later on. So like if you basically make them pay for the background check and then the background check comes up something really bad and you don't want them, living at the house, they're gonna get pissed and they're gonna be like, I paid for the background check, and they're gonna cause a scene. If you paid for the background check, they cannot complain. They literally can't make a scene. So that's what I would recommend, is to just always pay for the background check. If you have to pay for it yourself, because then people aren't gonna freak out on you and get pissed. If you are if you're running a rental property, never if you're running a rental property, never pay for their utilities, never pay for the tenant's utilities. And the reason I'm saying this, I'm not saying this to be cheap. There's a reason I'm saying this. Some tenants, what they do is they charge more rent than usual, and what they do is they think, oh, I'll get more rent, but I'll pay for their utilities, and they think that they'll make more money, but they'll end up losing more money. The reason you never want to pay for a tenant's utilities is because if it's not their house and they're basically getting utilities included in the rent, that means that they are going to abuse the utilities. They will abuse it. They will leave the house, go to work. They'll leave all the house, all the lights in the house on. So like I will say, they will be using the utilities when they don't need it, and your bills will just go through the roof. If you want to be nice, what you can do is open up the sprinklers for them. Change like furnace filters. Pay for that. Shovel their driveways. Pay for somebody to shovel their driveways if it's winter time and there's snow. You can do stuff like that to be nice, and usually it makes people happy when tenants appreciate it when you do stuff like that. You cut their grass, or you pay for a service to shovel their driveway. But don't ever do it where you're gonna pay for their utilities, because I will tell you, they will abuse that. They will really, and then you're gonna be stuck in them with a lease for them for a year. And even if you take them to court, there's nothing you can do about it, because the judge will just say you signed a lease saying that you would pay all of their utilities. They didn't say anything about limits. So that's what I'll say. Don't ever, never ever do that. Don't ever yeah, that's. What do you consider a bad credit score? I don't know really, because I haven't gone through that many tenants. I would just say about the credit score is, what I'll say about the credit score is, I'm more interested in what they do as a job right now. Like if they have a good job now. So if they have something that they're able to provide themselves with, able to actually cover the income, I'm not going to really look at credit as that much, as long as they have a way to pay that income right now. How much better is your current state than New York? Oh, it's better, Ryan. It's more affordable. I like it. Two, Chad. To me, it doesn't matter what they do as a job. It doesn't matter. As long as it's not something illegal and they can, afford the rent, then I don't care what they do for a living. What's your advice for young adults who want to go away to college? If you're gonna go to college, I would say make sure it's a degree that you really want to do, but on top of that, also make sure it's not something that you're going to get tons in debt for. Because a lot of people, what they do is they go to college and they finish college and then they expect they're going to get a six-figure job. Like a lot of people have this attitude that they're going to get a six-figure job immediately after getting out of college, and that's nonsense. So like I'm not saying you're like that, but I'm just saying that people develop this elitism when they go to college, and they basically think that because they finish college and they have their degree, they're automatically entitled to a six-figure job. Hey, Pro, happy Sunday. How you doing, man? I'm doing good, Pizza Zombie. How are you, dude? Is your state ran by Republicans? Technically, yes. But I would say is, if you ask most people in my state would probably not identify as Republican. Most people would probably identify as Libertarian, which I guess you could argue is that, but it's I would argue it's a different ideology. Are trade jobs underrated? Yes, they are. You're on the right track there, Gunner. What are you gonna talk about in the mission Payback? In the mission Payback, I'll talk about a bit of the Ho Chi Minh Trail. I'll talk about how Rambo 2 inspired that mission. Have you ever seen Rambo 2, Gunner? And also, I'll talk about the Deer Hunter. The Deer Hunter Russian roulette scene is what basically inspired that whole scene in the game. And I'm also gonna talk about the Viet Cong torture. It's a lot of history to cover on that one. Do I agree with student debt relief? It depends. It depends, Ryan. I would say this. If they are going to do student debt relief, what they should do is everybody who already paid off their debt should get a tax break. If they're gonna do student debt relief, that's what I'll say about it. Oh great, I got this mission here. Oh, this mission kind of sucks, but the thing about this is I got into an argument with a guy about this once, right? And he was basically, supporting, student debt relief, which I'm not necessarily against in my view, but at the same time I was telling him, would you support debt relief for students who take loans to open up small businesses? Like, people, like somebody who goes out of high school, doesn't go to college, but takes a loan to open up a small business. Would you support, debt relief for that person? They said no. And I'm like, why? And he's like, what's it called? Students who go to college, they take risks. People who start businesses don't. I'm like, what? Like, people who start businesses take the biggest risk of all, because their entire livelihood could fall apart. They could lose their property, their business, everything. So that's what I'll say, is that a lot of people that support student debt relief, they will not support for giving loans for people that take loans to open up small businesses. And that's where more of the argument comes from. That's where people start to get pissed off at that point, because some people basically say, I took a loan to open up a small business. I didn't go to college. Why doesn't my loan get forgiven? And then other people will basically say, well, I already paid off my loans. What about me? So basically, it's going to open an entire Pandora's box of people getting angry. I will say, though, that the loans are a problem. That, like, the cost of the loans is ridiculous. The amount that they're charging you. What is DMZ exactly? Oh, it's a mode on Modern Warfare. Modern Warfare 2.
You're in trouble. Okay. I'll deal with it.
Do Sam and Dan Houser do fan meetups? I'd love to meet them. I love Rockstar. I don't think they do, because, and honestly, if I was Sam Houser or Dan Houser, I'd be very careful with fan meetups. I would still, do them, but you'd have a ton of people that would just harass them and ask for GTA 6. Not saying you would do that, dude, but there would be a lot of people that would just really go there and start demanding GTA 6. That's what I guarantee people would do that. Thank you, and Mark. Thank you, dude. A little bit Assassin Wolf, yes. A little bit Gunner.
Have you seen that documentary about the symbol spell in Guatemala?
What are some things about Polish culture that you like more than American culture? One thing I like more about Polish culture than American culture is that in Polish culture, it's not considered lazy to sit at your job. In American culture, it is. That's why cashiers in America actually don't sit. So, like, whenever you go into an American store, you will see that cashiers will be standing, and it baffles a lot of people that come from other countries to visit America. They're like, why is everybody standing? And the reason for that is because American culture largely considers it lazy to stand, to sit. So that's the reason. And you go into stores in Poland, a lot of stores in Poland, people are sitting. I'll play the Max Payne remix, yes. Imagine Jimmy Kimmel appears in GTA 6. Oh man, that was... You have to stand in the US? Yes. The only job that I can think of where you're allowed to sit is office jobs in the US because you're in an office. But any other job, even if you could do the job, you know, sitting, they will not let you sit. Most other jobs. Oh no. Great. That's why the up and atomizer is a very useful weapon. Yeah, we could unconverting. What is my opinion on thoughts on Nintendo Switch 2 price, tariff, or PR fiasco? What PR fiasco? But, didn't the Nintendo Switch 2's, release get delayed because of the tariffs? Thank you, Almighty, Almighty Sweet Upon. Thank you, dude. Love your channel and videos. Thank you, dude.
The Mayans had it right. Where did they go?
You can deliver that, vehicle even when you have cops, even though it doesn't appear on the map. If you know where it is, you can do it. What's safer, your current state or New York? I would say probably my state, but I guess also up to opinion. Oh, you mean that the PR fiasco that the games are gonna be $80-$90. That's just corporate greed at that point. Will I play the new Assassin's Creed games? Maybe. I've heard some good things about it, but I'm really looking forward to Ghost of Yotei. That's what I'll definitely play. Oh, it is Mr. Hopkins. Thank you for telling me.
Bye.
Okay, what are we doing right now?
You want something? Take care, yo. Hi. Time to...
Sorry, whoever I hit there.
Holy shit!
The best Assassin's Creed game? I think it's the first one, personally, but it's up to opinion, too, on that. Do I agree with soft on crime and defund the police? No. I think that the defund police stuff is one of the stupidest things ever. I think it's ridiculous. Like defunding the police, like literally, if you told people that like 15 years ago, they would think that you're insane. Like, you know, but now it's becoming, you know, a common normal trend. I cannot believe that's actually like a political thing that people campaign for. Defunding the police. I bet criminals must love that. But as for the soft on crime stuff, here's what I'll say about it. It really when it comes to rehabilitation, you have either two. You know, people always make it seem like you have two choices, and those two choices are rehabilitation or punishment. And people either rehabilitation or punishment. But my question is, why can't you do a combination of both? Because here's the thing is, and I don't want to sound cruel by saying this, but not everybody deserves to be rehabilitated. Some people have done such horrible, evil things that I don't think they can ever be rehabilitated, and I think that person should be in prison for the rest of their life or get the death penalty. So it really depends on what they did. I think there are certain things that people do that, like, they can get a second chance, you know, they serve out their sentence and they can become a productive member of society and they can redeem themselves. But then other people have, depending on what they do, I don't think that they can be rehabilitated. And I think that people, I think that the problem is you have extremes on both sides. You have people that just think, oh, you know, all punishment, everything punishment, no rehabilitation, and then you have people that too much rehabilitation, even for like really evil criminals. So I think that I think you should look at it on a case by case basis. You know, I think that, you know, if there's like some kid, for example, that like joins a gang, right, and he commits like a robbery, and it's his first offense, as long as he didn't kill anybody, you know, give him his sentence, you know, obviously punish him, but, you know, I think he should be rehabilitated, and I think, you know, he could still be saved and, you know, help to become a productive member of society, because that happens to people. Sometimes people fall in with a bad crowd, and, you know, they make some mistakes in their life, and they regret it for the rest of their life, and so there are people that can change. But then, you know, you have somebody like a murderer, for example, like, you know, somebody like that, no, I don't think they deserve rehabilitation. I don't think they should ever get out of prison. And I don't know how anybody can argue that a murderer should get out of prison. I don't care if it's 50 years. No, don't let them out of prison ever. They took a human life away. They should not have the right to live outside again. What if a murderer kills another murderer? Well, it depends. It depends on the situation. But Lily, is what you are describing, though, unconverting, is like a very rare situation. What when I say murder in general, I'm talking about, you know, cold-blooded killing. If somebody kills another murderer, I would say it would have to depend on the situation. It would have to depend on what exactly happened, what led up to it. But, damn, how do I keep getting these vehicles? I keep getting these vehicles stuck in the most ridiculous places. This is ridiculous, hang on. I keep getting these vehicles stuck in the stupidest places, I swear. Okay. I'll give you an example, right? Um, let's say that there's some scumbag that, like, killed your best friend, right? And that scumbag spends 15 years in prison, right? 15 years in prison. And then afterwards they get paroled. The parole board says, he's to be released. And, the victim's best friend gets pissed and kills the person the second they get out of prison. That situation is very different than, like, somebody breaking into a house and, like, robbing and killing an old woman. The situations are completely different. So I would say it would have to heavily depend on the situation. And there's gonna have to be a punishment, obviously, but no, I'm not any kind of pro-violence, dude. The only point that I was saying is that the sentences should not be the same. That's the point that I'm getting. Obviously, if somebody kills somebody, there should still always be a punishment. But it's like if somebody killed, like, a known criminal who, like, killed their best friend, for example, and they got pissed that the person got let out of prison. That situation is very different than, like, somebody breaking into a house and, like, killing an old woman. So it depends on the situation. But when I say murder in general, I'm talking about cold-blooded killings. People don't deserve forgiveness for that. They don't deserve rehabilitation. They should be punished for that. Why am I wearing a mask? It's just part of my outfit. It's my cosplay for GT Online. In America, if someone hires a hitman to kill someone and they both get arrested, who would get the worst sentence? Probably the person who hired them, because they're the ones who ultimately caused the killing. Like, an example of that is that if the hitman cooperates and testifies against the person who hired them, the hitman might get out after a few decades, but the person who hired them might never get out. Uh, who is my Hell's Kitchen goat? Oh, you mean the greatest cook on Hell's Kitchen? Oh, it's gotta be Joseph. That guy. He says, he knows who they are. They sat down as a group and they discussed it together. You know that guy. No, I'm joking. Not Joseph. Joseph is the worst. But it's uh, I don't remember a lot of them. I didn't actually watch a lot of Hell's Kitchen. I watched a lot of Kitchen Nightmares. That's the one I watched a lot of. And I actually watched more Hotel Hell than I did of Hell's Kitchen. But yeah, the thing about Hell's Kitchen is I remember Joseph. Joseph was the worst. They know who they are. They can speak for themselves. That's what Joseph would say. He wanted to fight Gordon. That was. Yes, I have Isaiah, but I don't really want to get involved in politics. Why is the same people who are anti 2A who defund the police? Well, the thing is about this is, personally, I don't understand this logic. Is that oftentimes the people who want to defund the police, oftentimes they're the same people who are oftentimes saying the police are evil, they're corrupt, they constantly commit police brutality and such. But the thing about that is that they believe that the police are corrupt, but at the same time is they believe only the police should have guns. You see how that makes no sense? Literally is they think that the police are corrupt, but they think that only the police should have guns. That makes no sense to me. I don't know how you can believe that the police are corrupt, but then only support the government owning weapons. That logic is just beyond me. That makes no sense personally. Can you stream GTA 6 night it comes out? Sure, I could probably do that, Feline King. Thank you for the super chat. Who was the worst owner on Hotel Hell? The worst owner on Hotel Hell, I don't remember the guy's name. I remember it was like a countryside like hotel. It was like somewhere in the countryside in like the woods. It was like kind of like a mansion, but it was converted into like a hotel. And the guy lives in an RV like right outside the hotel. I forget the name of the episode, but that one I thought was the worst hotel. That was the Juniper Inn, is it? Yeah, that one. And the Juniper Inn completely collapsed. Like, he had this crazy art collection that he didn't want to sell. Like, I remember that one, too. He didn't want to pay his staff. He didn't want to sell off his art collection. That was, You know what other owner pissed me off on Hotel Hell? The other owner that pissed me off was it was the one in California. I think, was it San Diego? It was where the guy had like a hotel made out of like a Ferrari hotel. Does anyone know the episode I'm talking about? That guy was annoying. Okay, here we go on this. Thank you, Isaiah, for the super chat. I just don't want to get involved in the whole political drama right now. But thank you for the super chat, dude. Was there a law subject in college that I struggled with? I struggled with math. That was always a subject I didn't do good in. Math was always one I wasn't the best at. I had problems with math. Hopefully GTA 6 makes fun of being woke rather than going woke by featuring a reboot of their game show of Republican Space Rangers. Thank you, Bunny, for the super chat. I don't. Here's the thing: is I don't think that GTA 6 is gonna be woke, but I think it's probably gonna be politically correct. That's what I think. So I don't think it's gonna be like Saints. It definitely won't be Saints Row level. So it won't be like Saints Row woke, but I think it's gonna be politically correct. That's at least what I think.
You're bikers, right? Because the
Oh, here we go. I was never good at math. I struggled with it in school. Am I late? No, you're not late. You can watch whenever you want, dude. Okay, made pretty good time there. There we go. Nice. Okay. No, I have never seen that one, Mark. But I have heard about it. Next time I get fast food, get Subway's new nachos. I didn't even know that Subway has nachos. Thank you, Christine, for the super chat. I hope Rockstar mocks Bossman F the world in their new game like Hillary Clinton in GTA 4. I don't think it's gonna happen, though. Thank you, Silver Fox. Silver Fox line for the super chat, but there's probably gonna be GTA 6's parody of a lot of the political drama. There's probably gonna be something like that. What do criminals think of anti-2A defund the police? Well, criminals must love the defund the police stuff. As for the anti-2A stuff, criminals don't care. They're gonna buy a gun regardless of what the law says. Thank you, Ryan, for the super chat. I was more glad when I finished high school not having to deal with it anymore. My worst retail experience, I don't know on that one. Actually, probably when I got threatened. There was a customer who accused me of prank calling him when I didn't, and waited outside my car in the middle of the night and was gonna confront me in the parking lot. But my supervisor's husband made him go away. Maybe in a way, Ryan, it taught me patience. about to get to the plane now. Oh, that's a Hakachu that I'm driving. Well, what my supervisor's husband, he didn't beat him up. When I say got rid of him, what I mean by that is that he got in his face and basically made him go away. But yeah, my supervisor's husband was outside, and when the customer was threatening me, he basically stepped in and made the guy go away. How do you get good at multitasking? Just what, I don't know, I guess I've just always been good at it. Maybe my experience in retail, I was doing multiple things at once, Do I hate Mondays? Ah, not as much as I used to, I would say. I'm a YouTuber now, so I don't have a, a dislike for Mondays. I don't really have a dislike for any day, but when I was younger, yeah, everybody disliked Monday. Well, English, we usually just, write about, books and learn to write essays and such. No, I've never done any martial arts. What's one way of dealing with really stressful situations? What I do to deal with really stressful situations is usually talk to good friends of mine. Sometimes your friends understand you better than your own family does. You're quite the history teacher. Thank you. Is it hard to see with the mask on? No. Okay, I'll see you, Mikey. Take care, man. Good night, dude. Well, the reason that I think friends understand people better than their family members oftentimes is because of the age gap. That's probably why. It's maybe your brother will understand you better than your parents, for example. But if you don't have any brother or sisters, your friends will understand you probably better because they're your age. They're dealing with similar stuff, so they understand it a bit more. Would I join the police, Pat? No, not anymore. I wouldn't want to deal with it personally. You mean my car, James? Not really engine troubles ever, no. Are Dark Viper and Gilly Master one of your friends you talk to? They're Dark Viper and Gilly Master are both friends of mine, but I don't really talk to them often. Okay, here we go. You'll get your rent when you fix this damn door. Hey, Angelo. That's from Spider-Man. Well, at that point, it'll be public transportation or a bicycle, but bicycle might be difficult depending on how far it is, Gary. Anyone can join me. If you have me added, you can join me if you want to help. But I don't really need help myself, but I'm just helping others. Okay, we finished that in around 8 minutes. Good work, everyone. You know I'm somewhat of a professional myself. Thank you, dude. You know, I'll tell you something. If imagine if people did Oppressor Mark II meetups. Like, imagine if they did that. Like, if people did like Oppressor Mark II meetups, I would just be tempted to orbital cannon it. Like, I don't grieve or anything, but if I just saw something like that, I'd just be tempted to do that. Just because I hate the Oppressor Mark II so much.
Selling.
Do you have a dream car? Not really, dude. Yeah, I always hated that feeling. Like when Sunday is over and then you're going back to work on Monday. I always hated that feeling. It's like that feeling you got in your gut. It's like oh, I don't want to go tomorrow. It's like you know, you get that gut feeling like. What the? What happened here? Okay. We can still save this. Yes, we can. Thankfully for the up and atomizer. If the up and atomizer did not exist, we would not have been able to save that. I'm finding that I get really anxious when people watch my YouTube videos and when I stream on Twitch. It's crippling anxiety. Do you have any advice, bro? I got a little stressed out when I first started growing because I didn't have that many people watching, and then when I started making GTA Online videos, I had so many people come by the streams and started watching me, but I eventually got used to it. But the, I will tell you, though, I've also gotten a lot better at multitasking, because in the past, it still happens from time to time, but in the past it would happen where I would miss a lot of comments, and people would get really mad at me in the chat and say, why didn't you read my comment, and that got me a bit stressed out. But I would say just be yourself, be calm, and just know, you're playing on your own channel, you're doing your thing. People are coming to you to watch you. So I wouldn't be that stressed out. Just know that people are want to watch your content if they're watching you, and generally probably going to be supportive of you. They're to watch you. Did I ever use a takeover option in car meets? No, I never really even did those much, Theodore. No, people have mentioned Schedule 1 to me before. Is it coming on PlayStation? What is it? A fully upgraded nightclub sale. I could actually check that for you in a moment. A fully upgraded nightclub sale is close to $2 million. If you have everything, it's like 1,987,500. I think that's what it is. But I could check it in a little bit if you want. No problem. Who's MC am I in right now? Unconverting. Unconverting. I'm gonna leave this MC right after this sale, and I'm going to, check my nightclub sale to see. Do you think there could have been improvements that would have made the flamethrower more effective in today's warfare? Yes, but there's a reason that flamethrowers aren't used anymore today, because they're really outlawed and they're seen as extremely inhumane. What countries are countries that admit to their bad history? The most well-known country that admits to their bad history is Germany. But here's the thing about this. Most countries in the world, a lot of countries, I would say, I don't know if I would say most, but a lot of countries do not admit to their bad history. A lot of them don't. Like, I can name you a lot of countries. For example, like, Turkey denies the, modern-day Turkish government denies the Ottoman genocide. They deny the Armenian genocide. So, modern-day Turkey denies the Armenian genocide. Russia denies the Holodomor, the Holodomor under Stalin. The Ukraine denies the Volyn genocide. Their government does that. What else is it here? Japan denies most of their war crimes that they've committed. They have so many. Vietnam denies a lot of their war crimes committed as well. What is it, here? North Korea, for obvious reasons, denies a lot of their bad things they've done. China does. China denies Mao's genocide. I think a lot of other countries, and honestly, America is not perfect either. America, there are some schools, for example, in the South in the U.S. that like teach a different version of the Civil War, where they teach that it was like about states' rights. When no, the main reason the Civil War happened was over slavery. So there are even like schools in America that also teach that don't teach the full history too. What about the U.S. Native American genocide? I learned about that in school. I learned about the killings and displacement of Native Americans. That I learned. We were taught about that. We were taught about the Wounded Knee Massacre, the reservations, Trail of Tears, all of that. We were taught about that. Okay, let me actually sell my nightclub here now, or, can somebody who's not using there's a lot of people that are by themselves in the CEORMC, please, can you disband if you're not using it? I wanted to show, like, oh, thank you, whoever disbanded. Oh, wait, no, is it? No, it's still there. Can somebody disband, please, if, okay, there we go. What about if you let them pay for the background check, but you don't take them? You give them their money back. At least that yeah, that would be a good policy when you're looking for renters. Make them pay for the background check, and if they don't get accepted, you can refund them the money. That's a good policy to have. I'll play the Alan Wake games one day, Hustler. I just don't know when, but I'll play them one day. Would you say you're a forgiving person to somebody who has wronged you? Oh, I don't have the whole thing here, but I would say for the most part I'm a forgiving person. Depends on what they've done to me, but for the most part I would say I'm a forgiving person. I mean, I've had people grief me on GT Online and curse me out, and I've forgiven them. So it's when they apologize to me. So it's you would I guess you would have to do something really really bad for me to never forgive you.
You're nothing unless you're running your own bar. You gotta go in with me.
Okay. I think Yusuf Amir's was kind of disappointing because I was really hoping he'd have a greater role. Yeah, this year it's gonna be the this year's 20-year anniversary of Liberty City Stories, so we can do that again. Yeah. Let me form my MC here and quite a bunch of people here. Okay. Why wasn't Vice City Stories released on mobile devices? I think it's probably because the Phil Collins thing, Suppressor. Because they would have to pay Phil Collins for a license again, and I don't think they want to do that. Did I hate the Sopranos finale when I first saw it? Yes, I really didn't like it the first time I saw it, but I learned to like it more later on. Let's check cocaine here. Pat, we selling anything? I don't know yet. Gonna take a look in a moment. I was gonna help, who was it unconverting with their heist later, but if unconverting isn't here, I can help you with your heist, dude. Tulsan King? Isn't that the one with, Tulsan King, I'm trying to think of which one it is. Sylvester Stallone, yes, that's him. I was just not thinking the name correctly there, but yeah. I never see you sell your stuff. Yeah, because we're helping people sell most of the time. Is it the, Tom, is the mission, is it deliver EMP? Is that the mission? Deliver EMP, is that the mission that you need help with? Is there a movie that I like, but a lot of people hate? I really don't want to do that mission, deliver EMP right now, Tom. I'm not in the mood for it. Maybe another time. It just, deliver EMP is a very annoying mission. Your history knowledge is amazing. I've dug into your old stuff and it's amazing. Thank you, Addison. What will be the most underrepresented conflict in the interwar period between World War I and World War II? Easy. The Polish-Soviet War. Probably the most underrepresented conflict. Thank you, Addison. I guess we'll see what Mind's Eye is like. I hope that Mind's Eye has a good economy. Is Mind's Eye gonna have a multiplayer? Will I ever visit QC and provide your opinion locals? What's QC? Wait, what Vertigo? Wait, what? I'm confused. What do you mean? Hold on, I'm converting. I'm just selling my stuff right now. Hold on. Wait, what happened to the helicopter? It's literally ripped in half right now. Okay. Oh, Quebec. Yeah, I'd be open to visiting Quebec. It's not. It's in Canada. It wouldn't be that far from. Wait, why am I just jumping out? Why is it kicking me out? Uh. An NPC rammed into the Sparrow. Oh, great. Not at the moment, Tom. Maybe a little later. An NPC tried to fly my Sparrow. Okay. No, I didn't, Menace. Oh, okay, Vertigo. How long has Leslie Benzies been working on Mind's Eye? Like, how long has that game taken to make? Yeah, some of these mods have, like, really good stories for their single players. Maybe I could look into it one day, Mark. Is it true that US soldiers used to wear jeans in the Vietnam War? That I don't know. I don't think so, but I never heard of something like that. Is there a movie that I like but a lot of people hate? Let me think. I gotta think about this one for a moment. Maybe the Taken movies, like people like the first Taken, but they hate Taken 2 and 3. But I like the whole trilogy. They should have made a Taken 4 where his dog gets taken. They should have done that one. Where's car brand? I don't know. I don't know, not a car guy. I watched like a video where a mechanic was talking about like different car brands, and like all these different mechanics were being asked like what car breaks the most. And I think it was like 3 out of the 10 mechanics said that Jeep breaks the most. I don't know if that's true or not, but they were saying that Jeep is the one that breaks the most. Taken 4, someone stole my Pokemon cards. No, I haven't, Menace. Oh, what's your comments, Chini? I'm sorry. Can you do a walk through Infinite Warfare? I've actually never really played Infinite Warfare, so maybe I could do that one day. It might be something I could add to my list. I really hope they make a sequel to Call of Duty Ghosts, because that's, I want to see a Ghost 2. That's one I wanted to see for some time. I can help you with an MC sale, Tom, sure. Thank you guys for helping me get rid of the document forgery. And since I'm right here, I might as well check my bunker and see how full that is, since we're right here. Thank you guys for helping with that. One thing I liked about Call of Duty Ghosts is that the main antagonists were Venezuela. It was like where Venezuela took over South America and then like invaded the U.S. I actually liked that. It was like a different antagonist. It wasn't the it wasn't the Russians constantly being overused. Wasn't Call of Duty Ghosts futuristic crap? Not really. No, it wasn't that futuristic. That's you're thinking of Infinity Warfare, Infinite Warfare. Can I go in the bunker? Oh wait, what am I doing? I'm going crazy. This isn't even my bunker right here. My bunker's at the airport. What am I? At the Port Zancudo. I'm going crazy right now. Hold on. I'm doing good, Raps. How are you? Thank you for the super chat. Isn't the story in Infinite Warfare where, like, Mars gets, like, colonized and becomes, like, its own independent country in the future and then goes to war with Earth? Oh, well, this is full. Yeah, this I gotta get rid of. I'm eventually gonna get raided if I don't get rid of this, so yeah, I gotta get rid of this. Conor McGregor is in Infinite Warfare story. What? Oh. I love raids, don't you, Pro? No, I don't love raids. Oh, great. Not this mission. This is like... This is like one of the worst missions. I would have actually preferred the Dune buggies over this one, but okay. Oh, well. Would World War I Call of Duty work? No, I cannot imagine that. I don't. It's like extremely fast paced, and I cannot imagine that for like a World War I game for Call of Duty. Battlefield was able to do it better because it was like large, large maps. But I cannot imagine like Call of Duty doing it like close quarter maps in like World War I. I just can't imagine it. Could alternate history work for Call of Duty? What you mean, like Wolfenstein? I don't know. I never thought about that. Do you agree with Reznov that Dmitri should have died in Berlin? Well, Dmitri shouldn't have died at all, but if he was going to die, then yes, he should have died in Berlin. And the thing is, if Dmitri died in Berlin, he would have been honored as a hero, but because he died, you know, on that ship, he was completely forgotten. Are you enjoying Black Ops? Yeah. Pirates Online? No, I've never heard of it. I wish there was a Call of Duty Korean War. I would like a game like Battlefield or something to be the Korean War. Like, I'd like a big one. And honestly speaking, you know what game could do you know what studio I think could do a really good Korean War game? There's two games that I think could do a really good Korean War. Rebellion from Sniper Elite. I think they could make a Sniper Elite game set during the Korean War. I think they could do a good job with it. And the second one is I think it's Team 17 of Hell Let Loose. The people who make Hell Let Loose. I think they can make a really good Korean War game. Yeah, Mason and Woods actually served in the Korean War. Did they really? Was that ever confirmed? How old was Mason? Mason was born in like the 1930s, right? So it depends. I guess it depends on when he was born. But 1933. So yeah, Mason could have fought in Korea then. He would have been really young, but he could have fought in Korea. How the hell did Woods survive that explosion in Kravchenko? I have no idea on that. No, I've never played Duke Forever. No, I know the game. It was like the longest, game to produce. There we go. Let's go to the next location. I'll do it sometime this year, Vader. I'll do the Fallout 3 DLCs. I gotta do Broken Steel and a lot of them, yeah. Okay, good work, everyone. Yeah, like, the Korean War should have been covered more. It really should have. And the Korean War was not a small war by any means. It was a very, very large, war. What are your thoughts on the Malmedy Massacre? Isn't the Malmedy Massacre didn't it happen during the Battle of the Bulge? Where a lot of American soldiers were taken prisoner, by the Germans and the SS? They murdered a lot of American prisoners of war. Is that the Malmedy Massacre? I think that's the one, right? Or am I thinking of a different one? Well, Korean War almost became World War III, that is true. Oh, that one's like all the way across over there. Okay. Wait, what are you talking about, Javi? I wish the Korean War LCPD would have gotten more coverage in a lot of games, and America was praised for what it did in Korea, and America and a lot of other nations helped to save South Korea, and South Korea is not a brutal dictatorship today. What's the worst war crime committed by the Soviet Union? Oh man, it's a lot. There's a lot of crimes that the Soviets have committed. I would say the most notable war crime that people probably know about is the Katyn massacre. That was where 20,000 Polish prisoners of war were taken to the Katyn forest, put bags over their head, and shot in the back of the head by the Soviet NKVD and dumped in a mass grave. You just graduated Air Force BMT. Thoughts? What's BMT? Is that like the boot camp? Is that what that is for the Air Force? I wish you luck, Brick Cop, and I hope everything goes well for you. Your video of CJ's bag was really emotional. It touched my heart. Thank you, dude. I hope that everything goes good for you in the Air Force, Brick. Are you thinking about making a career out of it? Wait, aren't you in the session, Tom? Whoa! Whoa! What the? That was crazy.
What the hell? What the hell?
Okay, I'll join the heist in a moment here. What do you need help with, Tom? What was it that you needed help with? Thank you everybody for helping me sell that business. I wanted to get rid of that bunker for some time there. Ow. Here. What specifically with the MC business?
Looks like you.
Okay, X9, hold on. I'm gonna help Tom with one of his businesses, and then I'm going to join your heist right after that. But Tom, I can help you with one of your MC businesses, but I'm not doing delivery MP. I am not doing that mission. I'm just not in the mood for that personally. Anybody who's done delivery MP, you know what I'm thinking. You share my feelings in the mission too. The setup? Okay, invite me then, Tom. I'll help you with that, and then right after that, I'll help X9 with his heist. Well, everything sucks about delivery MP. It sucks you have to make that huge long drive all the way to get the LTV. Then you gotta drive all the way to the Humane Labs. Then you gotta do the stealth sequence with 4 players. You get spotted for just a second, the alarm goes off, somebody leaves, you gotta restart the whole thing. Like, delivery MP sucks. It's such a bad mission. I haven't done an apartment heist in 3 weeks because of that setup. Oh man, yeah, I don't blame you. That mission sucks. Yeah, a lot of these former heist missions, they should let you do them solo. I don't know why you need a full team. Some of them you should be required to have more people depending on the mission, but I think a lot of them can be done solo too. Who, Officer Soldierist? Why would you want to do that, Choppy? Okay, X9, I will help you with your heist right after this. Happy birthday to your, sister, Menace. Have you ever heard of Workers and Resources Soviet Republic? It's a Cold War era city builder game, but a lot different than many other city builder games. Uh, it's a city builder but in the Soviet Union? I've not heard of that one, LCPD. I've heard of like the Tropico games where you play as like that dictator that's like a parody off of Fidel Castro, but I haven't heard of that one. Well, they had one set during the Gulf War already, Black Ops 6. There you go. Okay. Your business is set up. Well, it's a company, Ryan, but they're fine, I guess. You know one thing that bugged me? Who left that camouflage sweater on, like, my coat rack? It's been sitting there for, like, how long now? How many years? Like, more than 8 years? Somebody's gotta pick up their camouflage sweater. There was actually gonna be a Call of Duty Vietnam game, which was canceled. Would love to play uh, a Call of Duty game set in space with the feel of the original Modern Warfare 1 and 2. They were developing that, then canceled it, huh? You have to make sure your people are happy or they will escape your country. What? That's, No, I haven't, Mason. At least it's better than the box of noodles left near the elevator. You're talking about my hotel review. Yeah. That showed me that they didn't walk the floors in the hotel. Okay, I'm ready. Let's do it. Yeah, hopefully we can get Elite Challenge. Elite Challenge with no helicopter. I think we can do it. Can't mess up the first time, though.
Okay, so we're going in through the side door. I hope you brought your A game because you're not getting a warm-up. Drive over there and I'll be in touch. Okay, softly approach. We're the only crew I know who can speak so little and still make so much noise. Well, here's hoping. The key to this whole job is to forget we're attempting a career-defining heist and stay calm. Are you calm? Good, because I'm calm. What's not to be calm about? If you screw up and they see you, we're just gonna do this the old-fashioned way, one dead guy at a time. Okay, do you want the good news or the bad news? Well, the good news is that they just had a record-breaking weekend, so the vault is full to bursting. And the bad news
You want to drive the car to the buyer? Okay.
security to guard it. High risk, high gain. Just how we like it. Hey, did you try out your stun gun yet? This is going to be your best friend. It'll overload the circuits on any CCTV camera or metal detector it hits. They recover after a while, so as far as security is concerned, it was just a temporary outage. But that's it. Head through the door to the staff lobby.
Adrian Andrews is the witness from the 4th case of Ace Attorney Justice for All. Remind me who he was again. Officer Soldierist. It's the original Phoenix Wright game, right? What case was it, and who was the witness again? What I knew you said 4th case, but remind me again what happened in the case. They could do a Call of Duty game set in Soviet-occupied Afghanistan. Well, kind of Black Ops 2 kind of had that, but it was only like a mission or two.
Take it out with a stun gun and get through before it recovers. That's it. Short it. Quickly get through. We should get away with that one, but take out one more camera and they'll know something's up. You can't shoot down many cameras. It's the kind of thing security tends to notice. Heads up. CCTV ahead. The stun gun should disable the camera for a while. Or go old school and time your run.
Okay, let's...
Well, he's not ringing the alarm. The key card's earning its keep, huh? Hey, before they go to the vault, today's takings are stored near where you are. It's up to you, but might be worth a detour. It's a 2-room system. One of you needs to hold the access button in the security room, the other runs through and grabs the cash. Alright, that camera just went down. It'll be back online soon. And remember,
Okay, good work.
if you bring down too many at the same time, they'll hit the alarm.
The guard's gonna be coming. Wait for him.
These people aren't idiots. Okay, here we are at last. The lower level. Naturally, it's heavily guarded. Heads up. CCTV ahead. The stun gun should disable the camera for a while. Or go old school and time your run. Key cards sure coming in handy, huh? You're so close. See that security checkpoint? The man trap is just beyond it. Without a sound. See that? That's your man trap, so pay attention. You'll have to swipe both vault key cards simultaneously at separate control panels.
I'm getting rid of this guy so we don't have to deal with him later.
Even then, we can't open. Get everyone inside the man trap now. I can keep the first door open until you're set.
WR Saint SR has to be the hardest city building game ever due to the amount of micromanaging you have to do. You should play it one day. And a playthrough, huh? I'll look into it, LCPD. Thank you for telling me about it.
Okay, so far so bueno. Push on to the vault. Ha! Looks like the guard at the vault room isn't there. Happy days. I know this is a special.
Once we get in there, I'm getting everything on the left side of the room.
To get a lot more special on the other side of that door. Break out the laser drill. Let's do this. The lock mechanism should melt like butter. You just need to target.
We're doing really good so far.
Don't rush. If you push the drill too hard, it'll overheat. We're not on a time limit until we're inside.
I did the stealth approach in Casino Heist with randoms, but they kept failing. Oh, over. And the thing is, the worst part, when you're playing with randoms, the worst part isn't when they fail. The worst part is actually when they leave after failing. That's the worst part.
Did somebody say diamonds? You should
Oh,
have. Right there, on the
diamonds. We'll
cards.
be able to get everything
Good
here.
news. Seeing as we stayed under the radar, we have a little more time here. Now, your hacker can block the security sensors while you're in the vault, but only for a while. If the system goes quiet for too long, it triggers the alarm as a failsafe. And, did I mention that if the alarm goes off in here, they'll flood the place with nerve agent? No? Okay, well, I'm mentioning it now.
Great, another door, but I'll take care of it, okay. There we go, okay, opened. We'll get everything, don't worry. We have 3 people, we'll get it all. Oh, you don't have that equipment, okay. Okay, 1C is taken there. Let's just get out of here. Cool, new outfit. Oh, thank you. There we go.
Seconds.
Daily vault plus elite. Swipe. You want to get daily vault too? Are you sure it's gonna make it harder for us to get elite?
You really cleaned up down there, you know? They're not gonna know what hit them. Except for the insurance bill.
Back in business. Everything looks okay over here.
You know, if we pull this off, it'll be the crown jewel of my career. The hardest achievement on the console of life. You did good down there. This is gonna be a nice little payday, and a whole lot of smug satisfaction. Listen up, we have bad news and good news. The bad news is they did a spot check on the vault, so they know it's been robbed. The good news is they have no idea who or how. The cops are on their way, but you can still make it out undetected if you do exactly
Okay, we got about 6 minutes. We're gonna have to go. No, not all randoms are bad at Heist, sure, but there's just a stereotype that just, like, when you play with randoms at Heist, you're just gonna end really badly.
You should avoid the bulk of the cops this way. The only thing that matters is making it to your ride. Remember, they know the vault's been hit, but they don't know who you are or where you are. They have patrols sweeping the whole place, and all the civilians have been evacuated. So if they see you, they'll know it's you. So just stay out of their way, keep your cool, and get to the buyer. The driver
Oh,
has the
great.
getaway car in
Okay.
possession. I've
Stupid
pinged
right
the
there. I can't
GPS.
believe that just happened.
The buyer.
Uh,
Just bring the cops, and we're home free.
how'd you get so high of a take? We took, diamonds. He had diamonds on his Heist. Yeah, I think aiming at him kind of is what's got me spotted there, but... Oh, I'm not driving here, just in the car, but we're doing pretty good here. What's your plan to lose the cops?
If the buyer hears so much as a siren, this whole thing goes up in smoke. Lose the cops.
Oh, no. Well, it is what it is. Turning off the lights of the car actually makes a difference. Really? The cops are less likely to spot you if you have your lights off? Is that really true? I gotta test that when I get the chance. Wait, what makes you think that, LX? We should probably just go back towards the roads. We're gonna lose the cops by now. What is the most unrealistic GTA story mission? Probably minor turbulence. I'll see you, Raptor. Take care, man.
Alright, you're good. Get to the buyer.
Well, you mean my Black Ops videos, but thank you, Phoenix, yep. Oh yeah, we're definitely not getting Elite Challenge, but whatever. We tried. Here we go, we got it. Nice. Okay, so I guess I'm gonna probably wrap it up here, but I'll answer any comments before I go here, so if you guys want to ask me any questions before I go, I'll answer them. Let's see what our time is. What's our time? What was the worst thing that Japan did during their imperial era? The constant invasions? Ooh, 1 minute and 38 seconds off. No, the mask is actually fairly comfortable. Well, they were used, Mason. I can help you next time, Toms. No, Snake. Why do a lot of GTA 5 players feel so bad of Molly getting sucked into the jet engine? I don't know. Molly was a scumbag. I didn't feel bad for Molly. Thank you, Isaiah, but yeah, Molly was a scumbag. Well, taking the helicopter is kind of boring. It's more of a challenge escaping by car. Thank you, Colin. You can also go, you can also put your controller down where your character will walk around in circles, Dante, and that, that'll produce, and, your nightclub while you're going and doing other things. No, Javi. What are some games where the good endings are actually the bad endings? Ghost Recon Wildlands is one I can think of. The good ending where Sueño lives. Yeah, Mark, I do want to do it. I just don't know if it'll be next month, but I do want to do it sometime this year. It will be done this year. My favorite gun from the Cold War era? Probably the AK-47. What's for dinner? Oh, I don't know yet. Maybe I'll make some chicken cutlets today.
Oh, hey. All right. Bye.
But I guess what's my number one video game hot take? What's a hot take again? Isn't that like an unpopular opinion? Best advice for dealing with short-tempered customers: have patience. Unpopular opinion: I would say that I think I liked the one unpopular opinion I have that I know a lot of people don't like is I actually like the characters in Watch Dogs Legion, where in Watch Dogs Legion, how you chose like random NPC characters and you could play them. I actually liked that and I thought that was unique. I don't think the problem with Watch Dogs Legion was that it lacked like a strong protagonist. I think the problem was the gameplay wasn't that great with the it didn't have as good hacking as like Watch Dogs 1, for example. I can do my next stream a little bit longer though, Snake. I'm just a bit tired and I have some stuff to do, but I can do my next one a little bit longer. And also, guys, I'll be doing a Yakuza 0 stream this week. So Yakuza 0, we'll be doing a Yakuza 0 stream this week, going for the 100%. So I'll do a stream on that this week, Snake. Why did President Nixon resign the Watergate scandal? I don't know. Not tomorrow. Maybe Tuesday. It's either Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday. But it'll be earlier when I start it. Okay, Snake. Vanderland gang theories? What do you mean? Uh, okay, Isaiah. GTA 4 is a great game. But I guess I'll be going here, guys. Thank you guys for hanging out with me. You guys are awesome. I always appreciate your support. I'll another part of Ace Attorney tomorrow and another part of Black Ops. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys on the next one. Take care, everyone. Have a wonderful day, guys.